since I didn't do a good job of actually reading it again for a third time to review it, I'm just gonna give you guys the script, so you guys can read it and be surprised. It's very different than I won't say it's very, very different, but it's pretty different than what came out. Obviously, there's no John Travolta in it, but yeah. And Ko has some really good moments too, like where she's like blowing people's heads off, especially on that boat scene. Fantastic.
Oh,
yeah. Just as gory as the David Morrell version, and like really, really, really gory. I think there's like a shot that maybe takes like 15 seconds or 10 seconds, but there's something like 7 kills in it on that boat, you know, just like bam, 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 bam. And it's really bloody, you know, heads exploding and like, you know, Rambo's, I think Rambo fillets someone, I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but I remember it was really bloody. Yeah. And I would love to see them maybe revisit that in the future. I would like them, you know, maybe they could bring Travolta back in the picture in the future. You know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking maybe if they do another video game, they could take that concept and make a video game with like a what if story if Rambo didn't go out there by himself, and has to bring Stallone and Travolta back to lend their voices.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah. I have a feeling that didn't work because of Staying Alive. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. I still haven't watched that all the way through yet. I have it. I just never really got around to watching it all the way.
It's not a perfect movie, but I still enjoyed it. At least they're trying to do something different from Saturday Night Fever. They didn't want to do the same movie over again like Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed like.
Because it was the.
Oh, go ahead.
Because it was the 80s, you know, the 70s were over. It wasn't disco anymore.
Yeah. I noticed, like, when I was watching it, like when I first saw Showgirls, I noticed it kind of reminded me of Staying Alive a little bit in that area. Because everything was really grand. And Paul Verhoeven just has this wonderful way of setting up his shots. Like, his shots are just breathtaking, you know, like beautiful, beautiful shots.
Oh, he's a genius. He also learned. He's also a mathematic whiz. I think he used to be a professor at math before he became a director.
Oh yeah.
So he's very smart when it comes to. So he kind of uses that knowledge of math and put it in his films, which I think is very, very ingenious.
Yeah, he's like wow. Like, I would really love to see him direct a new Conan. I would really love to see that.
Me too. I think Conan would be perfect for him because Conan was all bloody and gory. I think that would be perfect for him for Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, and also like I know like. I have a feeling that when they do Conan now, it's gonna. I have this really sneaking suspicion it's gonna be a lot like Game of Thrones, and you would need at that point for Paul Verhoeven to come in and take your Game of Thrones concept and just boost it up like another 10 feet.
Oh, I see that.
Like, could you imagine a Game of Thrones episode done by Paul Verhoeven? It would be X-rated, you know, like.
That's way epic. Epic and X-rated. I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that would be really cool. Whew, big week this week, man. Oh, you go first.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about getting Verhoeven and John Woo to direct that movie idea I told you about, Nasty Boys.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, Verhoeven would be amazing. Amazing.
Oh.
Like, I think he's like one of the most underrated directors of all time. Like, he's like up there with like Kubrick and just all these, like, I mean, like Spielberg and just all these visionary, like, I don't know, but there's always something that hits you that he does that's just always amazing, you know, like, even to set up his shots, like, there's that scene in Basic Instinct where they're in the car. They actually had to drive around and do that scene a bunch of times just to get the sunlight right to reflect off of Sharon Stone's face for like a 2-second shot, you know, like they worked all day, calculated when the sun would reach this area and, you know, all that. So, yeah, really great. Really great director.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. You look at classics like Total Recall, Starship Troopers. You know, no one's ever been able to duplicate that. Like we were saying yesterday with James Cameron.
Don't forget RoboCop.
Mm-hmm. For sure, and especially RoboCop, especially because RoboCop was like #1 was like the high point, and no matter what they did, they couldn't get back. And they tried, man. They brought in crazier concepts, you know, amazing stuff, but it didn't go. It didn't get back to like that. I would almost say realism that the first one had. For something that was so sci-fi, it was really kind of more realistic at the same time. Like, it's a movie you have trouble watching sometimes, people who are squeamish, because, you know, like, they really didn't candy coat it. They went for it. You know, like we were talking about yesterday with Terminator 2. You know, I'll always go see the next Terminator movie, but I don't think they'll ever get back to that level. You know, everything was done so meticulously and so, you know, with so much care and thought, and, you know, that's something now with CGI I think a lot of people miss out on, is the brains behind what it took to make practical so good, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Alright.
I want to mention in the Rambo script with John Travolta's character, I like the scene where they kind of go back and forth with each other, where Trapman introduced them. They're in this hotel room, and Trapman and Rambo and Burr are going at each other, and Trapman's like, "Look, you two are married as of now, so get used to it." And then Rambo says, "I say we strap him to a chair."
Yeah. Oh my god! There's tons of good stuff in this one. 111 pages, or 79 pages, depending on what format you read it. But yes, that is a brilliant scene. That is.
I like that because it showed Rambo being adding more humor to his character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of that humor too. There's a scene also that was in the book I was reading where they have like the you know, when Rambo's taking everybody out and they're at the they're back at the radio and they're just listening to him like create carnage throughout all of Vietnam, you know, with practically with nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that was amazing.
Oh yeah. And another scene I liked, that when they were torturing Brewer, he doesn't care anymore. He just screams and laughing his ass off. They're acting like, what is wrong with this guy? He's just going nuts. He doesn't care. He just goes off the wall, and he's screaming, he's laughing and screaming, and he's like, and they're like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, John Travolta, like Brewer's character, really brought in like that. I think it would have it would have been so easy for them to just go that buddy route. You know, like it would have been. You could already see the chemistry on the page, like, you know, so that when they were in person, you could just imagine what that chemistry would have been like. It would have been insane.
It was, but I'm glad it didn't happen because movies, if you look at the action genre, started out about not just two people, but a bunch of people, a group of guys together, like the Magnificent Seven and the Dirty Dozen and the Guns of Navarone, and of course went on to two people like with 48 Hours, and but Rambo was like the first. Rambo 2 was like the first film to show that one man could do all this on his own. The one-man army. It was, I believe, it was the first movie to do something like that instead of just a bunch of guys or two guys together.
Yeah, the lone man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hang on.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and of course, like what I said about Lethal Weapon, how Rambo started the one-man army thing. It's like Lethal Weapon started the two. I mean, yeah, we had buddy movies before, but what I said about Lethal Weapon kind of started kind of like the two-man army thing, despite the fact that we had buddy movies before, but Lethal Weapon took it to a different notch, and of course you had Martin Riggs, who was kind of like a Rambo type of character.
Yeah. And also, like, that film went for the grandiose, you know what I mean? Like, when you watch those movies unfold, like that saga, all four of them, it's on a different level. It's almost on its own kind of level, and it keeps you in this universe. It is very. Yeah, I see where you're going, and at the same time, it just kind of brought it to like the superstar level. You know.
Oh, I forgot to mention, going back to a group of how the action genre started out with a group of guys. Even you can say The Expendables was like a homage to those films.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that it kind of ended with the one-man army thing with Rambo, and all of a sudden it went away for a while, and then it's slowly growing back because of a group of guys. It's like history's repeating itself. It's like The Expendables. And what's strange, it's interesting because how a group, they call this type of genre, instead of just calling buddy movies are two people, but a team of guys, they had a name for this genre. It was called Men on Mission movies.
Yeah. Men on a Mission.
And it's very ironic how it started out, how the action genre started out that way, then it went to another level with One Man Army with Rambo, and then that kind of went away. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of resurrected again because of the Expendables. And the Expendables is like a homage to Rambo, and because Rambo started the one man army thing, and you got the Expendables with this team of guys, and the theme of Rambo. They're like a team of Rambos instead of just one man. I find that very ironic.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're going to keep going until you know.
He said like 27. He said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They said they were doing.
They're
doing 3 more now, Expendables, and then another 2 that they said that they want to work on. I would like to see Expendables, and then maybe a sequel, and then maybe a crossover, or a crossover and then a sequel to the crossover.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, and I would like to see, like I said, I would love to see Rambo keep going that number, like 27, you know?
Mm-hmm. There's already a movie out called Mercenaries.